back to the channel, guys. It's me, IDKA, and looks like reviewing Super 7 again. I'm kind of not really a fan of Super 7. I don't think many people are. I'm not too sure. Ignore the dog hair, I'm sorry. But yeah, Super 7 is a bit of a controversial company because it'll make figures that look decent, sometimes not decent, but then the quality and overall it's pretty bad, which I completely understand. But sometimes they make products that certain companies won't, or will make the same product that uh, I, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with it. All I know is that Super 7 isn't too hot for the action figure community. And I myself don't like it too much, though. The only Super 7 figure I do have is these Ninja Turtle one with Raphael. It looks sick. The articulation is a bit lackluster, though, to be honest. But anyways, it's not about Raphael. It's about Patrick, and pretty much SpongeBob as a whole. I was gonna get SpongeBob, but then it sold out pretty quickly because there's hardly any SpongeBob figures. And then I know people are going to mention what is it, the Nendoroid? I'm not a big fan of Nendoroids, even though it's probably the most accurate SpongeBob, I guess. But I more so like the classic SpongeBob than like what you call it, modern SpongeBob. Yeah, that's how I feel. I more so like you know old SpongeBob because I grew up with old SpongeBob, even though I'm not that old. But I grew up with it ever since I was like I don't know, probably like I don't know. Whenever I started walking, or even before that, I loved SpongeBob. I remember seeing because those little old handheld cameras. I remember seeing a video of me as a little boy. I don't think I was able to talk yet, but I was eating some Cheeto Puffs or whatever, and I was watching SpongeBob. It was some episode. I don't know which one it was. It's a very quick glimpse. All I remember is that Man Ray was on it. So it was one of the episodes with Merry Man Barnacle Boy. But yeah. So I like Super 7 SpongeBob figures a little bit more because it captures that kind of oldish feel. Because I think that's what they were going for, the more oldish stuff. Because I believe Super 7 more so has the rights to like oldish type of cartoons and stuff. Because if you look at their catalog, it's mainly like old cartoon versions of like modern characters. But then they also do have like stuff from like, this year and stuff, such as like Godzilla. But so far, that's the only one I really saw. I know they're making Thundercats. The like this one. This is based off the old Playmates Ninja Turtle figures, were same as the Shredder and stuff. Now they're making like 2003 Turtles. So yeah, I think they're more so like oldish type cartoons, which that makes me want them to make one specific figure, and that's Johnny Bravo. We'll get back to Patrick, even though he's the main focus. But real quick, I want to talk about Johnny Bravo. I loved Johnny Bravo as a kid. I'm pretty sure it's controversial to some people now. I can understand why, but it's Johnny Bravo, dude. Come on. Like, I love Johnny Bravo. So if Super 7 ever goes down the Boomerang or Cartoon Network route, I hope they bring out Johnny Bravo, possibly Ben 10. What else? Whatever. Maybe some more Popeye stuff, because I'm not a big fan of Boss Fight Studio stuff. I have the Bluto figure. I'm not a big fan of it. Boss Fight Studio makes banger figures. I have another Boss Fight Studio figure, and that's, well, this isn't about them. I'll show that off later. But, not later, a different day. But yeah, anyways, if Super 7 ever goes around to making Johnny Bravo, that's an instant pre-order, instant buy for me, because I really want a Johnny Bravo figure. And, again, like I said, Johnny Bravo is, like, kind of controversial, among some people. I'm pretty sure by Cartoon Network themselves, they never show homage to Johnny Bravo, even though it's a pretty funny cartoon, But anyways, back to SpongeBob or Patrick. Today we're looking at the Super 7 Patrick Star. Like I said, I grew up with SpongeBob, and I like the older stuff more, so this is kind of supposed to... This is like a mix with modern and old Patrick, it has like the more modern build of Patrick. Because if you look at the older model of Patrick, it was a bit more slimmer. Well, this figure is more fatter, just like the modern one. But the old version of Patrick was a little bit slimmer ish. He wasn't as like fat as he is here. Like you see that stomach, it was like more so. It was like a more little curve, but over time they made Patrick fatter. But yeah, this is a mix of modern and old. It mainly has more old like accessories than like modern stuff. But yeah, but going into details, I really do like that head. The face and everything. The wrinkles are pretty good. You can tell right here though. Bring this down if it. I'm not sure. I can't really see on the camera. But there's some like black specks, and that's because of one accessory, which we'll get into. He has his little dots on him that are also imprinted. So, yeah, you can he's not like just, he's not just smooth, but he also has like some bumps on him. But yeah, he has like a good amount of those dots on him. There's some on his back and back of his head. His, was it shorts are fine. His feet aren't accurate, but mainly because that's for him to stand. Which he doesn't come with the stand, which kind of surprised me, which I kind of wish he did, so then we can have the accuracy. Or if these hands could like plug down here, but the peg hole. Also, real quick, I had to super glue it. It did not come like that, so don't worry. I kind of messed it up because like these wouldn't bend and they still don't, so I had to add super glue for some more friction. But yeah, I kind of wish the hands would like pop down here some way, and then you can use the other hands or whatnot to hide that. But yeah, but overall details, there's not too many. I mean, his Patrick, it's pretty simple. He's like pink. He has some red dots on him. It's not too much stuff you can go based off. But yeah, I think everything looks pretty right. I want to talk about accessories real quick because it's references to older episodes. Like I said, for the third time, I grew up with old SpongeBob. So real quick, let's go off with the hands. Because, yes, I'm talking about hands. So real quick, go over the pinky. So yes, I believe this is supposed to be a pinky. But if you want, you can use it as a pointing hand. But no, this is meant to be the pinky. So this can either be a pinky promise, but I believe this is more so a reference to like when they first meet Sandy. I forget what the episode's called, but when they meet Sandy, SpongeBob, Sandy invites SpongeBob to her place. Yeah, Sandy invites SpongeBob to her place. So SpongeBob tells Patrick. Then Patrick says, "Oh, that's just fancy talk," and he says, "If you raise a pinky, that means you're fancy." And then later in the episode, SpongeBob raises his pinky a lot. Patrick will be there to remind him. I believe, that one meme that's usually used in the action figure meme. He's like, "I need it." In that specific scene, you can see Patrick out through the window because it zooms in on him. He's like, "SpongeBob, pinky, pinky," and finally. So yeah, that's probably what this is referencing, or it's just pinky promise. I'm schizophrenic. This is for holding his phone, which we'll get into. But yeah, this is for holding the phone. This is for holding his jellyfishing rod, jellyfishing net, not rod. What the fuck? But yeah, that's for his jellyfishing net, which we'll also get into. And I believe this is his karate chop hand. Because I don't think this is supposed to be anything else. Because there's an episode where he learns karate, but all he's really good at is chopping things. I believe this is his chopping hand. Because, he goes on the massive craze chopping things. He nearly chopped a baby. And, and after that, he loses that whole arm, I believe. Regrows it. And then this hand turns into another Patrick. Which, now there's a Patrick that's chopping things. So, yeah. And like I said, with one hand, we'll get into the phone. The phone is from that one episode, which also includes this hat, which is, I believe, the first time Patrick got hired to the Krusty Krab, where he goes, he's at the register, and then, people call the restaurant, ask, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" He goes, "No, this is Patrick." And it goes like that for a long time until he finally yells, "No, this is Patrick. I'm not no stupid Krusty Krab." Patrick, that's the name of the restaurant. dog. So yeah, and he comes with the hat, which goes on his head. It looks nice. I believe you're supposed to force it down, but if you do, it'll leave some black spots on the tip of his head, so I don't recommend that. I recommend just resting it there, and it works, but, oh, and it will stay there. Yeah, so don't force it down, just let it rest there. Why is he not standing now? Okay. But yeah, this is where it comes from, and like I said, this hand specifically, no other hand, it holds it well. So yeah, if you want to recreate that meme in stop motion or whatever, you can do so, which I kind of like. So yeah, like I said, he comes with the hat. I'm pretty sure you can put this on the SpongeBob figure, but it won't plug in anywhere, so that's unfortunate. Like I said, he comes with his jellyfishing net, which, this hand holds that. And he comes with a jellyfish, as you can see, which you can just place in there. Now, taking this out, because you have to put it in like that, which is accurate. But as you can tell, there's holes in there and the legs are all messy. So taking it out is kind of difficult. But if you're good at it, it won't be too hard. And then another accessory that some people are confused by, and it's this rock. This is from when Squidward gets a snail. And later in that episode, they do like a snail race because they're trying to figure out who has the better snail between like Squidward and SpongeBob and Patrick, even though it's a rock. Which later on in that race, I believe Gary and Shelly, that's the name of Squidward, I think, right? Is it Shelly? No. Probably? But anyways, sorry, I don't fully remember. But, Squidward and Gary, what? Squidward and SpongeBob, Snell, Gary, and Shelly, I think, fall in love and just, go away. And then at the end of the episode, Rocky, I think that's his name. I mean, it makes sense. Rocky wins the race. So, yeah, this is where it's from. People question why why this is there. That's the reason, because it's a reference to episode. And another one where Sandy hibernates Pinhead. And this is the only other head that you'll get with Patrick, which I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of. As much as I do like this episode, if you're going to include this, and this, why not add a screaming head? It adds on to the meme. You can do it again. Why not add an angry or screaming head? I know what you're about to say, but Patrick is a happy guy. No, if you look back at the old episodes, Patrick is actually pretty much a crash out. So adding Pinhead, Larry into it, I'm not a huge fan. It makes sense because, you're adding another meme with another one. And it's like an iconic episode, really mainly due to Pinhead Larry. It's funny. But again, I kind of wish he came with an angry head or a yelling head. And, also include Pinhead Larry. I just wish he came with another head that wasn't Pinhead Larry. Or, with the Pinhead Larry head. So you have a little bit more option. Because, unless you really love Pinhead Larry, I see no one, and I mean no one, displaying Patrick with this unless you really love this episode. I love the episode, but I would rather have more variety than, this. It's good, it's well done, but I don't know, man. So when people criticize his head, I completely understand. Out of all the faces and stuff, you choose Pinhead Larry, which again is iconic, but it's kind of based off old Patrick because it's old episode that are being referenced and stuff. So why not add an angry head? Because old Patrick was a crash out. New Patrick, he's just dumb. Old Patrick, he was dumb, but he was mad dumb. He was an angry dumb person. So yeah. But overall, accessories are fine. Articulation. I don't see people really talking about articulation on Patrick. When they do it, very bare minimum. So I'll try my best. He looks up that far, but if you were to raise the head a little bit, which kind of includes taking it off, but then putting on, he can look a little bit farther up, but then you have to watch for gappage. Putting that back all the way down. He can look this far down. He can't really tilt too much, but just a little bit, so that's fine. His shoulders go up this far. His shoulders are confusing because you can't really twist it. it has to be at like a certain angle. I believe this angle, and then you can twist it just fine. But if you had it like fully down, it'll twist fine, but then it'll get stuck to something right here, so you struggle a little bit. And if you have it all the way up, it's very hard to twist, and then leaves lines like right here at the armpit. So yeah. Hang on, let me raise this back up. This is a little too close. But yeah, he comes with single joint elbows, which don't really do too much, but it's not too bad. You know, it comes with swivel right here, swivel right here. There's hinges, but they don't work well on here. But if you wanted to see how the hinge would work on a hand, here you go. Oh, there you go. So yeah, hinge, swivel, comes off pretty easily. You know. Now for his waist, he has a ball joint, but like it's blocked. You know, we're about to pants Patrick real quick, but don't worry, he has no ass. Unfortunate though, I'm gonna be honest. They could have done like a SpongeBob movie reference. Oh, looks like that's tearing apart. But anyways, yeah. So this is how it looks like inside. There's a ball joint right there, but it's blocked due to this, so he gets no rotation. Movement, but he does rotate pretty well. So there's that. Oh yeah, his legs are on a ball joint, and he has a thigh swivel. Hang on, let's get that down there. There we go. So yeah. And it works pretty well, but you know, this is soft plastic, so if you were to actually use it, his legs will go up right there, but due to the plastic, it goes there to the max. You know, and his thigh swivel is like actually really good, you know. It rotates really well. So yeah, his articulation, you know, it's Super 7. They're not well known for their articulation. So don't expect too much, and not to mention it's also Patrick, he's very fat. So yeah. Why is there hair on him? Get off of him! But yeah. Anyways, let's go into some scaling.
Okay, so a little afterwards, after recording the video, yeah, the paint chips off. You know how I was demonstrating leg movement? Yeah, the paint chipped off very easily. I didn't scratch it or anything. I was, doing fine with it and stuff. But yeah. Don't push the leg too forward. I mean, it doesn't even matter because like you can't even use the leg full to its full limit. But why is there my fucking dog here? But yeah, you can't. Yeah, just don't push the leg to its full mobility. You know, if you don't want paint chip, I can maybe fix that up. I don't know. I'll
first
see.
up here he is next to the McFarlane. What's his name? Kind of forgot. I forgot. I'm so sorry. But yeah, there he is next to Superman from that old cartoon. Oh, Max Fleischer Superman. There we go. Max Fleischer Superman. And here he is next to the G1 Optimus Prime made by YOLO Park. And as you can see already, he's a big boy. This Patrick's like very, very huge. So yeah, he's huge. Don't think he's tiny or anything. Nope, he's huge. Up here he is next to the Archie Leatherhead, and here he is next to the He-Man TMNT Leatherhead. But it has like the color scheme of the old cartoon Leatherhead, so that's why I included him. But like, if you want the comparison of the old cartoon Leatherhead, think of this, but like about right here, or a little bit right there. So that's how tall that NECA TMT old cartoon Leatherhead would look like next to him, I guess. Next up here he is next to the Boss Fight Studios Bluto. Like I said, I don't really like this figure, but it's not about him. And here he is next to the, what's that company's name? Omnime? No, that's the name of the... Fuck, what's their name? I don't remember the figure company's name, but... Oh, Dawson Model, Popeye. And, it's pretty cool to have, these guys. Even Bluto, like, he looks cool, but as a figure, he sucks. But, he looks cool next to Patrick. Popeye looks cool next to Patrick. Comment down below. Who wins? Popeye or Patrick? Because, like, okay, I see a lot of people debate SpongeBob versus Popeye because SpongeBob has that 1 feet or something where, like, he pulls the universe by a string, but people fail to mention that Patrick pulled SpongeBob with that same said string and was the last one standing. So that makes Patrick above SpongeBob. I'm sorry for bringing power scaling in, but like I just need to bring that up. So that means Patrick's the most powerful character in the SpongeBob universe, rather than SpongeBob. And people mention, oh well, SpongeBob's still laughing. It's like Patrick still did it though. So yeah, he's next to another Super 7 figure. You know, the Raphael based off the old Playmates figures, and here he's next to the 2012 Donatello made by Playmates, you know, the reissue, because I don't have the original versions no more, which I'm still looking for the Raphael and Leonardo. I didn't want fucking Donnie and Michelangelo. I wanted Raphael and Leonardo, but no, I found the other brother. Next up, here he is next to the Anime Heroes All Might, and here he is next to the, what's their fucking name again? Demoniacal Fit Goku. And this is more so for, like, you know, keeping that animation type. And next stuff. Up here is next to next to my custom Mermaid Man, which I'm thinking about redoing, because as you can tell, he looks rough. But I was cooking for the time, you know. I'll probably get another head sculpt or something, learn how to sculpt more properly, and get better sculpting material. Because this was like Play-Doh, right? I said that. I think I got the hair just fine, but like everything else, you know, I need to get an actual orange. Skin tone's fine, you know, because it's, was it the Vallejo stuff? But yeah, I need to learn how to sculpt better, and then the legs just don't make sense. But, and here he is next to the Jada Toys Mega Man. Sorry, my brain's not functioning. And this review off here, he's next to the 3 best Spider-Man figures in my collection. Here he is next to the Retro Wave Symbiote Spider-Man that I modified. Here he is next to the Sensible Peter B. Parker / Peter Parker bootleg. And here he, from Into the Spider-Verse. And here he is next to the Maximum Series Spider-Man. Final thoughts. You know, it's a good figure, you know. Quality-wise or like feel-wise, it does feel cheap. You know, Super 7. Is it worth $60 as some people has gone him at that price? Absolutely not. Is it worth $50? Is it worth 40? Maybe. Is it worth 30? Yeah. Is it worth 20? Absolutely. But, you know, I paid like 50 something for this because, you know, that's the price I was. Well, no, 48, but still like pretty much close to 50. But, yeah. You know, if you can get it for even more cheaper, I believe Amazon Prime is having Prime deals right now. So if you have Amazon Prime, I believe he's even more on sale, possibly, or, you know, just still the same price, which was like $45. I believe Squidward is down to like 55 right now, I think, or he's down to 40 something. I don't know. Squidward's more expensive. I thought about getting Squidward, but I was like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with Squidward. So I got Patrick instead. You know, do I regret it? Not really. I do like the accessories. I do like. I know I complain about this head. I do like it. It's just that I really do wish we got another head with him. But overall, it's a fine figure. You know, you can still pose him if you're very creative. Like, you know, here's pictures of him fighting Jiren. But yeah, if you're creative and you know how to pose sort of well, or like sort of non-posable figures, you can do well with him, honestly. But do I recommend this figure? Maybe, because like again, with the price of how high it is, it's like damn near $50. I don't think it's worth $50. Like $48 is pretty much $50, so it's like, But like for me personally, I am happy with it. It's just it's a little too much, you know. But yeah, it's up to you. You have to be like a big SpongeBob fan to really like the Super 7 stuff. But at the same time, even as a big SpongeBob fan, I don't think it's justifiable for the price, you know. I recommend getting the figures if they're on sale. SpongeBob is like non-existent right now, so I don't think you can pick them up unless you pay an absurd amount of money for them. But yeah, I don't know. I do like the figure. I am happy with my purchase, but like putting in the perspective of other people, I can understand why they would feel disappointed and cheapened out by it, you know, or like taken advantage of by the company, I guess, if that made sense. But yeah, I can understand why you don't think it's justifiable, and I'll agree with you, you know, I don't think so. you know, just because I'm happy doesn't mean other people will be happy, you know. But yeah, overall, I would recommend this only if you're a big SpongeBob fan. If you're not a big SpongeBob fan, you just like, you know, SpongeBob, but and you kind of want to figure, I'd just say get like the little playset ones, you know, the ones that are like tiny, because like not only is it like size difference like pretty close to accurate, but like it's affordable, you know. I kind of wish I got those, but not really, because it's also like mainly like really for kids. This is like for so collectors. I mean, you can give it to a kid, but it's for collectors. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if again if you really want it, go ahead and get it. If you don't want it or you're just not that into SpongeBob, but you have been curious about SpongeBob figure, I would say don't get it unless you're just really curious. Like for the price it is at like right now, it's semi justifiable, semi not. But it's all up to you at the end of the day. If you want to buy it and get mad at me for saying to buy it, go ahead. I didn't even fucking say that. I said maybe. But you know, it's a good figure, but for the price, no. You know. But anyways, that's it for now. I hope y'all enjoyed those pictures of him fighting Jiren. I don't know if I'm going to take a little bit more pictures and then put them up. Probably not. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll see you guys next week. I hope you have a good day, night, evening, whatever time, dimension, whenever you're seeing this. You know, I just hope your day's going well, your life's doing well, and yeah, just enjoy life to the last. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.